Hi, welcome If I Did It, a show where we analyze and solve pure kerfuffles from MMA world and beyond. I'm your host, Alexio.
I even like the little pause and leave that dead air there because it makes it kind of creepy. It's like,
It does.
Maximus! And then nothing.
I saw this video, they said Gene Wilder, like master of the pause. And it was just so funny. You just have a line and just pause and look.
Yeah.
Boom, drop in with the follow-up.
I'm much more disturbed by your Abu Ghraib surroundings. I don't know what's happening. Wherever you are, I'm not going to ask any questions, though.
Yeah.
He's standing on a chair. You can't see.
You don't know. You don't want to know. It's like the Sanford and Son commercial. You don't know. You don't want. Who is it? You don't know. You don't want to know.
I don't want to know.
All right. So, joining me as always, Kid Native Bloody Elbow and Eugene S. Robinson of Ozzy.com and author of Fight Everything Everyone Know About Asking. We're afraid you get your ass kicked for asking.
There you go.
Now, Eugene.
Sir.
Your former WWE World Champion and UFC rookie, CM Punk. After 2 surgeries and almost 2 years after announcing you were taking your talent to the UFC.
Talent! I'm sorry. I had to say that. Okay.
You finally set for your octagon debut this weekend. As an expert of scripted endings, what concession speech have you crafted in case you lose?
Well, yeah, you know what? I had half been paying attention to this, and it was like when I used to review porn. I realized I couldn't actually watch the movies, so I would create a picture and I'd minimize the screen, and I'd be doing all kinds of other stuff, and I knew it was a good porn if it got my attention for half a second, and I would write. And then I would go back to writing a review, then I go back to doing something else, and I have it. And this is the same kind of thing. This has been this constant CM Punk chatter in the background, which I haven't really been paying attention to. And then I finally, he said something was said, and I was like, what is that smell that I smell when he says, face it, Mickey Gall's about to make more money than he's ever made his entire life. That's a weird thing to say. And like Columbo, that's been bugging me ever since. You yourself don't know what you said when you said what you just said, Who's talking about money? CM Punk, you forgot where you are, I guess, or did you? What best serves the common interest? What amongst friends, what's the best thing that could happen now? If CM Punk loses, he goes back to being kind of an MMA footnote. It's a rocky story for Mickey Gall, who, what does he get in the process? What does he get? He gets a couple more money than he's ever made before. CM Punk just said it. And, consideration for future events as yet unknown, as Hitler would say. Who knows, man? I'm not saying that this is a stinky fight, but if you get a stinky guy who fights a fight, it might be a stinky fight. That's all, I would fully expect that you, as an MMA fighter, would rather die than to lose to fucking CM Punk. However, there are things to consider, and a smart man sometimes might make smart choices. So I don't know what to tell you. Concession speech. I won't
tap.
yeah. It's like, but if
no spin you can't foresee. So you think that it's a done deal.
So what you're saying is that you really think that Mickey Gall is gonna pull a Butch from Pulp Fiction and be jumping out of the dressing room window trying to escape from the bald one and the overlords at William Morris and head out of town on Zeb's chopper because he nah, man, I don't know. The thing is, you know what? I don't care. I don't care. Ich weiß das nicht. No, that's I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't fuck care. I just don't.
What about you, Nate?
Well, I mean, there's various possibilities. CM Punk gets his ass beat horrifically, but acquits himself respectably. Not much to say. Just, I got my ass beat. But if he pulls a Fred Eddish, and all respect Fred Eddish, it could happen to anybody. I know I wouldn't have done any better. But if he does something that humiliate, to embarrass himself, and I don't know what that would be, tapping his standing strikes, turning around, from getting punched. I mean, it'd be nothing Brock Lesnar hasn't done, but
right.
You don't really go up to Brock Lesnar and go, "You flinch like a pussy when you got punched in the face, Brock," because he's, it's like you're not the one that made him flinch. CM's not that scary, so in that case, I don't know how he would react. But I think the best case scenario is either to have a tough fight and surprise people by being grittier than they expect him to be, or even to come back and win, and which seems pretty unlikely. Just at his age, his level of training and preparation against a legitimate professional opponent, it's very hard to see a scenario where he wins. But
hold on, humor me for a second. Do you think it's possible that they get to Gall, or do they even need to?
I don't think they need to. I mean, the only reason they signed CM Punk was to keep him off of Bellator. Yeah. So the UFC, it's a blender, man. They don't care
good point,
how you do, how you don't do. They're not looking to cook fights. They're not even good at building logical career progressions for talent they want to develop. They just throw everybody against the wall. And with Joe Silva leaving, the dynamic's going to change. I mean, we've had the same guy booking the fights, or he's been one of the two guys for the last 5 years. But Joe Silva's been on the show for 20 years, so it could be changing, and they might start taking a more. They might start cultivating talent in a more logical way, but there's no talent to cultivate with CM Punk. I mean, he's too old to do anything. This is a one-off. This is like James Toney fighting.
Is it a one-off? Does he have? Is it a
If he wins, I'm sure they'll try to milk it again. But I mean, this is a 30-something-year-old with no combat sports experience, no amateur wrestling, no judo, no jiu-jitsu, no boxing, no kickboxing, nothing, coming in against professional fighters. If he doesn't get his ass beat, people are going to be looking at this like, what kind of bullshit is this? Unless he just displays some incredible, unforeseen athletic talent. And I respect the guy as an athlete. I mean, pro wrestling is, male ballet. It's like a soap opera and ballet for dudes. It's incredibly physically taxing. And I've seen, highlights of his matches and stuff, and he's a pretty good athlete. But being a good athlete and being a trained mixed martial artist are two different things, and I don't think he's a great athlete. And at his age,
So no need. I mean, the fact of the matter is being aware of the fact that why this thing went down, which is, look, I had a dream. I know that the odds are against me, but in the background, you don't want me going to Bellator.
Yeah.
All right. So he doesn't have to worry about, okay, he loses. If he loses, if he's humiliated, they're like, ha, you're done here, right? Because still, he could go to Bellator, and Scott Coker.
I don't know how much.
The rumor is Scott Coker's special of, hey, don't go to the ground for the first round. That kind of thing.
I think they've got him. I mean, I think they're going to get all the MMA there is to get out of CM Punk. I mean, I just don't see him as a live dog after this fight. So we'll see.
So we got live
dog. So I know what the next topic is.
Yeah.
Or, having something left in the tank, really. Nate, you're 90s sex symbol Pamela Anderson. Less than a year after posing for Playboy's last issue, you penned an anti-porn op-ed with a rabbi in the Wall Street Journal, which sent shockwaves throughout the porn industry and psychologists, too. Some suggest it was a publicity stunt. Explain to us the PR pros and cons of your slut-shaming hoes and johns.
I mean, what else has Pamela Anderson got going on? And this is a time-honored, and Pam, to be clear, Pamela Anderson was never a professional porn performer. Although I don't really see, me personally, any great difference between being on Baywatch and being in porn movies.
Well, the Tommy Lee and Pamela.
Well, the Tommy, I'll get to that, but she made a lot of money off of a video of her having sex with Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee, her husband at the time, but that was at least not. It's not like she was at the Vivid Studios and she worked as a porn performer. She was a celebrity. She'd already been on Baywatch. He was a celebrity rock star. They made a video, claim it was stolen. I don't know, and it ended up in the hands of, I think, Vivid, and they
had to sign a release before it would be released.
Yeah, they cut a deal, and they made an enormous amount of money, and it was a fine video. I think one of the '90s best porn videos, if I can recall.
No, it was terrible. It was
It was as good
terrible.
as any of the other shit.
No,
How was it
it was
terrible?
it was really terrible.
Off his porn tape reviewing chops.
Well,
Well,
Eugene can tell us the expert's perspective, but for a non-habitual viewer, it seemed like they both had nice bodies and fucked, and they're just people fucking, and
She was
Such a
completely
low
not into it,
standard.
man.
uh, well, that's a valid point, but you think, yeah, with your husband, they maybe be more passionate, but I haven't seen it in 20 years, so I can't remember. I don't remember that being my complaint, but I don't remember having any complaints about the video, but I only watched it once at a party. But yeah, but for her to come out with all this shit, it's like people are always trying to blame porn for people's behavior, and that's kind of weak sauce. At the same time, I think we're looking at too much porn. I mean, if you go anywhere, everybody's got their fucking phones in their faces staring at, and you don't know what they're staring at. And I think porn is just one of many infotainments people are distracting ourselves with and poison we're putting in our brain. But, it's bullshit. Linda Lovelace did the same thing. There's a long history of porn performers that turn against the profession. And
Tracy Lords.
yeah, Tracy Lords. Did Tracy condemn? Yeah, she did condemn porn herself. And after she played everybody that she worked with in it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Pamela.
Stephanie Swift.
Yeah, it's and it's like any business that's a hard business. It's just like there's a lot of MMA fighters that come out and say the UFC's bad, and some of them come out and say MMA is bad, but not as many as you get porn performers. I don't know. I think it's just baked in with our misogyny and hypocrisy as a culture to, I mean, everybody has sex, but we want to somehow disavow it and make it a bad thing.
So it's a play of, what else is she doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like she's got a booming acting career. I mean, she was never that good an actress.
But see, to analyze it from a PR perspective means that you're looking for a certain kind of quality or level of contrivance, which I don't think it is. I think she was genuinely motivated, and I think she was genuinely motivated for the same reason that in recent days you might have caught me saying stuff that is less than laudatory about the nature of American porn. It's fucking ubiquity. I mean, it's like it's the worst kind of mass media art ever at this point. I don't know if I mean, partially because nobody's watching it for more than 3 to 5 minutes at a time, but yeah, the last like bona fide porn movement that was an attempt at, of the producers and the performers at doing something that was qualitatively substantially better or different, which is, I think, in my mind, is how you qualify being an artist. I'm going to put a framework around a urinal and isolating
Lord,
it,
yeah.
like Duchamp, and isolate it as an experience, and therefore you have to say, look, I don't like this as a piece of art, but conceptually he's got something. No one's done this before, and he's yanked it out of the ether, and now he's done this thing. But that hasn't happened in porn since Gonzo, man. It is just fucking. It's not even just fucking. And I was on the beach yesterday for Labor Day, and I saw clearly some guy who's kind of convinced his girlfriend, hey, let's take some sexy bikini photos for you, for Suicide Girl, because she was covered with tattoos. And you know what I found much more interesting? I found he should have been taking photos between the taking of the photos, because when she's doing all this, like, she can't stand with I think is all borderline fucking pedophilia, because she can't stand on her feet, so her feet are like kind of pigeon-toed, and she's going like this with the finger in the mouth, like she's 3 fucking years old. And then when she's like normal, between shots, that's when he should be taking the photo.
Right.
I mean, there's not an imaginative bone left in San Fernando Valley, and if what she's saying is porn is the least imaginative thing you could do with your time, I'm going to have to agree with her 100%, and I think they should be fucking punished for it. I'm not anti-porn, I'm anti-shitty porn, and 99% of it is fucking shitty.
Well, the thing is, it's dead as an industry. I mean,
it's dead as an industry.
It's the business structures, they've been cannibalized worse than the record industry by copyright infringement and streaming and stuff. And also
the same reasons too. Yeah.
That a whole generation, 2 generations, has grown up on its steady diet of porn and realized, hey, I got a cam and a dick and you got a cha-cha, I got a hoo-dilly, let's put it on. I mean, you don't watch this professionally made porn anymore. Like, the amateur stuff is way better. I mean, it's just ridiculous. People have these parts, we do stuff with them, and we're documenting it and sharing it. I think we're sharing it and documenting it, watching it too much, but But her bullshit was her op-ed was tied to Anthony Weiner's misbehavior.
Right.
And that had nothing to do with porn. That had to do with cell phones and taking
Yeah.
your dick. And
Anthony Weiner, in my mind, had to do with intimacy. All right, man, we'll see. I mean, like I said, if it was
behavior.
if it was reversed and he was a woman, he could get away with saying, "I was lonely."
Right.
You know, clearly, if I'd wanted to have sex with these women, I would have had sex with them. I could have met up with them, had a kid stay with a babysitter, and I didn't want sex. I wanted intimacy. I'm lonely. My wife's, and I guarantee you, if the genders had been reversed, we would have bought it much easier than we're buying his. You know, I gotta send my penis out to the world, so it can live in perfect harmony.
He needs to stop sexting.
Yeah. He needs to stop, but he will not stop. At this point now, the handcuffs are off.
Well, speaking about stopping and handcuffs, Eugene, you're the San Francisco 49ers. The Santa Clara Police Officers Association wrote you a letter about your quarterback, Colin Kaepernick's, quote, harassing behavior, which includes wearing exposed socks with the image of a pig wearing a police hat during training camp practices in Santa Clara, failure to stand to honor the National Anthem, and, quote, insinuating that police officers are being placed on paid leave for murdering minorities, end quote. The letter ends with a demand that if you fail to, quote, take action to stop this type of inappropriate workplace behavior, it could result in police officers choosing not to work at your facilities, end quote. 2 days later, the Santa Clara Police Chief, Michael J. Sellers, sent USA Today Sports a statement, quote, I will work with both sides to find a solution. In the meantime, I will ensure that we continue to provide a safe environment at Levi Stadium, end quote. Describe, as the San Francisco 49ers, your public and private PR preparation, Eugene.
Well, first of all, I got 3 words for the Santa Clara cops. Air traffic controllers. Okay, so you're a public servant. You got to serve. I understand that. And I think what they're responding to, and I think what they're correct to respond to, is the image of cops as pigs on the socks. You certainly have a First Amendment right to make that connection, and John Messias from Circle One said it best: the difference between cops and pigs is that cops do a job, but pigs think they're gods. Okay, I understand the point you're trying to make, but to me, it comes very close to yelling fire in a crowded theater. And if the situation were reversed, if we were to find some public servants, yes, they're highly trained professionals, but if we were to find out that they had the running nigger target on one of the police forces, or even the texting issue in the San Francisco PD, people would be a little bit upset. I thought it was undue provocation. Kneeling, sitting during the national anthem written by Francis Scott Key, a slave owner and avowed racist, whatever, completely down with that. But I got friends who are cops, got cops in the family. It's a hard fucking job, and nobody's leaving the house saying, I'm going to kill a fleeing black man today. It's happened. It's a tragedy, PR tragedy for both sides. But if I'm SF 49ers in the PR department, I say this is a complex situation all around, and we're going to put some of our best minds at it, but we're glad to have sparked a discussion, and let's play some football. That's what the fuck. You're not going to make this guy stand for the rest of the season if you're too heavy-handed with him. You have a lot of Negroes in the NFL, guys who have not previously been motivated to be political at all. Suddenly, they may not like Kaepernick. One of the other football player go by, he's not even black, dumbass. From his vantage point in the house, Negro, in the house, he might have but I like the guy being, if I got to choose, I'm taking a Jim Brown over a Michael Jordan. Who's richer? Well, Michael Jordan, but I've seen the movie Mephisto. I've seen the movie The Conformist, and guys who inevitably play along with the Nazis. It never works out well. You've
seen Crying Jordan, which is, we talk about legacies.
Right.
There's a whole generation of people.
Yep.
Their knowledge of Michael Jordan that's that crying dude.
Yep. So
right.
I think at this point you need to intellectualize it and that automatically makes it go away in American public life. Say it's complex. We got some of the best minds. We've brought in Harry Edwards talking about it. We want a workplace. We want everybody to feel this is a positive experience, and it's good to be part of a discussion that we're having right now. We'll meet with the police and so forth and so on, and I guarantee you, by the time they trade Kaepernick for a quarterback who can actually throw, this will all be a memory. You know what won't be a memory? Guys getting shot in the ghetto. That won't be a memory.
Yeah, because they'll keep happening.
Yeah, that's another story. So
yeah,
so what do you think, Nate?
I think Eugene said what the 49ers need to do pretty perfectly. I mean, they're kind of caught in the middle here, and I agree completely with what Eugene said too. I mean, Kaepernick's political statements in his press conference, I was pretty impressed with. The guy's articulate. He knows the issues. He made a good case. But the pig socks were just bullshit. I mean, right. If you're trying to present yourself as a serious voice, addressing an issue in a serious way, name calling and cheap shots really sabotage your own case. And also infuriate the police. I mean, they put up with enough bullshit. And I mean, I'm not like the biggest sympathizer of the police, but I'm glad we have them. It's a hard job, and there's a lot of good cops doing the best they can in trying circumstances. And there's a lot of shitty cops pulling unbelievably chicken shit crap and getting away with it. And that's my beef with the unions. I mean, the idea that these guys are public servants and they're going to threaten to not do security at a massive public event that's like a prime terrorist target and prime pickpocket target. I mean, so much crime happens at stadiums, and with all the trouble they've had in San Francisco and LA between people getting killed basically for wearing the wrong sports team jerseys at these parking events. You're supposed to serve and protect dudes, and once you step out of those lines, my sympathy ends pretty quickly. And I'm also like, cops one day are going to wake up, hopefully, and realize, stop protecting the bad apples, dudes, because they're ruining it for all of you guys. The data shows clearly the overwhelming majority of these assaults on citizens and illegal shooting people for no reason are committed by a small minority of the police, and the union needs to be the people that step up and polices their own ranks. Weed out take out the trash, cops. Like, there's no reason to defend shitty cops. It's not helping you.
And like I interviewed that researcher, the professor at the woman's name, or I can't remember right now, at Indiana University. She said every single watch commander knows who their bad apples are. Can't get rid of them. And I mentioned that to some of the cops who train here, because they're like big support. Oh, no, you're a super pro cop. And he was like, actually, in that regard, she's right. Do I have bad cops who work for me? Absolutely. Can I get rid of them? Absolutely not.
Yeah, they're worse than the teachers' unions, and I mean, it's bullshit, and they need to straighten it up. Because the robots are coming, cops. They're going to be replacing you guys with drones and robots with, that can knock down doors and shotgun people. So.
Well, speaking about knocking down doors, Nate, your New York Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Twitter put girl star Lena Dunham on blast for attributing your ignoring her amorous affections at a Met Gala to your racism and misogyny. She issued a half-assed apology until getting called out for it. So she tried again. Quote, I owe Odell Beckham Jr. an apology. I would never intentionally contribute to a long and often violent history of the over-sexualization of black male bodies, as well as false accusations by white women towards black men, end quote. Is it better for your brand, Odell, to publicly accept an apology you never sought, or just ignore her like you did at the Met?
Yeah, from his perspective, from a PR's perspective, he just needs to keep looking at Instagram on his phone and keep it up. There's nothing, he didn't do. However, as a human being, and I'm not a Lena Dunham fan, and I think she showed her ass in a big way here, but at the same time, I'm like, you're at a gala and you're looking at your fucking phone. I want to smack the fucking phones out of the hands of every millennial I fucking see. You're at a gala. Look at people, speak to people, shake some hands, kiss some cheeks, have some chit-chat. What the fuck is on Amazon that's more important than what's in your face? Why are you going to the gala?
He wasn't looking at her cheeks.
Well, I mean, fuck Lena Dunham, but just the idea that you're at a gala looking at your phone,
You see, but you see, this is
I mean, not that
spoken.
he needed to talk to her. I mean, he could have perfectly well not talked to her without the phone being involved. My problem is strictly with the phone.
All right.
Eugene.
I hate phones as much as anybody else. Like when that guy.
Not as much as me.
There was initially a guy in the early days of the internet or early days of cell phones who would get a full body cell phone costume and would run up to people on the street talking to their cell phones, grab them, smash them, and then run away. And he had somebody film him do this. Now there's a new guy with the garden shears who's clipping selfie sticks. So I love these videos. They amuse me. I think, I will declare moratoriums on my phone use. Hours. I'm not going to look for an hour, put it down, put it in another room. I don't like being a slave to it. That being said, however, what you just said, you said spoken as a true broke man. Because the thing is, if I'm a multimillionaire, gala or no gala, why do I give a fuck? The only reason I'm looking around and talking to people is because my sausage on the plate thing. I got one sausage on the plate. I'm sitting with people who have 10 sausages on the plate. I got to engage. Guys, somehow I got to work an angle. I got to get somebody to give me a fucking sausage. So I'm looking around. I'm talking. I'm being charming. I'm cracking jokes. I'm high-fiving. I'm low-fiving. I'm trying to get invited back so I can get another fucking sausage. I got 10 sausages on the plate. What do you think Dana's doing? Yeah, I've seen Dana at the fights tweeting and texting, looking at his phone. I mean, it's just, you spoke it like a true broke guy. Guy's got it. What the fuck does he need?
Why is he at the gala if he doesn't want to be there?
Because he's got a management team, and his management team is designed. I got specifically. You think he got management so they could make better deals for him on the football field?
I mean, he can
Possibly.
be as cold as he wants to be without getting the phone out. I mean, he doesn't have to talk to anybody or do nothing, but what do you need the phone in your face 24/7? That's
communicating. He's communicating with people somehow, whatever. That is it's only like a buddy of mine put it in perspective. He goes, coffee. I go, yeah. He goes, coffee is a poor man's drink. I go, what are you talking about? Plenty of people drink. You're missing the point. The only people who need to drink coffee are people who need to be awake in the morning. Rich people do not need to be awake in the morning. They choose to drink coffee. They don't have to drink coffee.
Right.
I was like, well, I'm not a coffee drinker, but that sounds plausible to me. It's a poor man's drink. Paying attention to people at a table, and we would cloak it and say, well, this is about being polite. It's about being a good table man. And the actual fact is just about being broke and needing more sausages on your plates. How about that? From a class perspective. Now, I don't like it, and in fact, it's been a bone of contention in the household. It's like, I don't want them at the table. I tell my kids, technology, bringing people closer together. I'm looking in your eyes and you're looking in the phone. I do not like this, Put it down on the table, and even if you stare at me and say nothing, at least you're looking at somebody who will be dead in 30 years, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but my point is, but Lena Dunham, he can't. You can't. It's like the swamp thing. He who knows fear burns at the touch of the swamp thing.
That's the man thing.
Man thing. But there is a swamp thing, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
the swamp thing is bigger. He was the DC Comics version. Man thing was the Marvel.
The fear burns.
Right. So you just have to, you can't. Anything that you use to feed this beast of Lena Dunham will just add to. How come she's essentially sort of like Tom Cruise? More money than God. Refusing to go away because for them it's not about money.
Right.
It's about our love, and I cannot give it. The fact that we've talked about it this long to me is a chandra, which is a Yiddish word you should look up.
So let's then go to another person who loves affection, loves the public, and loves things that are huge. Eugene, you're Donald Trump. Last week on MSNBC, the founder for Latinos for Trump, Marco Gutierrez, warned about the dangers of his culture. Quote, it's imposing and it's causing problems. If you don't do something about it, you're going to have taco trucks every corner. End quote. In doing so, he created a movement, hashtag taco trucks on every corner, but in favor of Hillary Clinton. Is it better PR to bury yet another Marco or show solidarity for his struggle?
I'm sorry, this is if you're Trump?
Yes. How do you handle this new Marco?
In actual fact, what I think
Let me take this one first. I gotta take
Okay.
this one
All right.
first.
Go ahead.
If you're Donald
Damn.
Trump and this comes to you, you're like, what does this have to do with me? And you move on to stories about me, Donald Trump. Like, fuck this clown. This isn't Donald Trump. Like, he pays zero attention to these guys. I don't think the guy fucked up bad enough to get fired. You just keep on trucking. However, if you're Marco, what a
Taco
stupid
truck.
ass,
Keep on
what
taco
a
truck.
stupid ass. People love taco trucks. I'd love to have a taco truck on every corner. I got to drive across town to get a decent taco truck.
Want a taco now.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Mexico has one of the great cuisines in the world, and they're bringing it to America. People love to eat it. That is not what people, even the most racist yay-hole I know, doesn't have any problem with taco trucks. That was an amazingly stupid statement.
At this point, he's going back to the 50s. You know, he's like spaghetti benders, taco benders, beaners. It's like, you know, I guess you haven't seen how fucking crushing Mexican food is. I mean, that's actually what happened. People like turned the guy into a meme, a hashtag. People like, and some guy's done a mathematical analysis of what it would take to put a taco truck at every fucking intersection in America. I mean, and how that improve the economy and the tax base and everything, you know. So Trump has got at this point now. If I were Trump, and it's I just got a text. Trump up 49-48 in a two-way, up 45-43 in a four-way with Johnson and Stein. If I'm Trump right now, I'm keeping the plate spinning long enough so that I can come up with something other than you sickly liar for three debates. The debates are going to be fucking huge. That's going to be, and he can't. There's no way he gets 10 hours out of the debate on just you're sick, you're a liar. You're sick, you're a liar. You're a liar and you're sick. Can't do that for 10 hours, baby. You're going to have to talk policy. So you should be somewhere fucking studying now. Cliff Notes, use whatever you Wikipedia, use what you got because you got to get through these debates.
He's not going to do that. But if he can stick to certain key points and messages that he's got, you know, about trade and different things, he has a slight chance. And she's never dealt with anything like Trump before. But I think what Trump should say here is, hey, Hillary had such a bad month in August, I wanted to give her one little thing. So, you know, this was a gimme. You're welcome, Hillary, because the Clinton campaign, this was one of the worst months of campaigning I've ever fucking seen. I mean, the New York Times had a big article about, where's Clinton been? Oh, she's been in the Hamptons kissing ass for big checks. It's like, that is the worst possible thing she could be doing. For one thing, TV ads haven't worked at all this cycle. I mean, ask Jeb Bush and his gazillion-dollar PACs how much that helped him against Trump. That shit has not been working. Listen to Matthew Dowd on ABC. Like, he's been pointing out that this is not an election you can buy. You can earn the media, but you can't buy it. The TV ads don't work, Eugene. You're not going to, there's no...
Okay, TV ads are not designed to work on you or me, but you know what worked on me? The convention worked on me.
The convention was fucking brilliant, but again, that was free TV. And that had nothing to do, the optics of her. I mean, I saw somebody post a thing. Remember when George W. Bush spoke to some wealthiest people in the world thing? He's like, here I am talking to the 1%, or as I call it, my base. That's where Hillary has maneuvered herself to be in the George W. Bush of this election, which is the stupidest fucking place she could put herself. Now, she's betting it all on the debates, and it's entirely possible she's going to crush him just like she crushed Trey Gowdy at the Benghazi hearings. However, Trump is an X factor, and he's very good on television, and he's very good at personal interaction. So I do not like her strategy. It's the Gray Davis Democrats. You remember Gray Davis, former governor of California? And his entire strategy was, I don't give a shit if anybody likes me. I'm just going to raise money and cut deals and do the bidding of the big money guys. And in elections, I'm just going to spend that money and destroy my opponent. 50 plus 1. That's all I need. I need the majority of votes plus 1. I'm not getting any extra votes. I don't give a fuck if people like me. And then they recalled him and brought in Schwarzenegger. I mean,
well, no. You know, I don't know if you remember the time. You know when he lost it? Where he lost it is when he started to make fun of Arnold's inability to speak English well. Do you remember that?
That was the final blow, but he'd already been recalled at that point. I mean, Arnold wasn't even the leader of the recall movement. And the thing is, it's this belief that if I suck up to the powerful, I don't really need an electoral constituency because who else are these assholes going to vote for? You know, and that's the contempt that Clinton has for voters, and it shows. It just bleeds through. The voters are just an inconvenience between her and doing the bidding of, you know, it's not even like her wealthy masters. She is of the Hamptons. The Clintons are, you know, part of the Borg now and have been for a long time.
What's that?
Talk, Eugene. When you show the screen, you got to talk.
Yeah, okay, because what does it say?
Oh, yeah, Clinton's still going to win. I mean, the state polls. Fuck it. She's tied in Texas. I mean, you know, this campaign, I'm just shitting on them because I've been shitting on Trump so much, but this is easily the worst campaign of our lifetimes on both sides.
Well,
yeah. Well, and I think more significantly and more importantly that we're having and I said this, and I don't know if you guys poo-pooed it or whether it was somebody here, but I said I think that we're having a global leadership crisis of a kind that, you know, and if you don't think so, go look at the pictures that came back from the recent summit of May and Obama, and it's like, you know, or Duterte with his fucking son of a whore.
No, here it is.
That's the next thing.
That's the next question. Perfect harmonic convergence. So I'm going to give it to you, Eugene. Then, okay. This is unplanned. We didn't practice this. It shows you like the harmonic convergence that we have here. Okay?
It's called segue, baby.
Eugene, you're U.S. President Barack Obama. Since you brought him up, according to the Associated Press, Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte claimed that if you asked him about extrajudicial killings during the regional summit, quote, son of a bitch, I will swear at you, end quote, you canceled the meeting. What else do you have planned for this Philippine Philistine?
And some translations had it as son of a whore, so.
So yeah, son of a bitch and son of a whore. I'm sorry, you dropped out for a second there. Am I answering as Obama or am I answering as
Obama?
Yeah, you know what, if I'm Obama, I'm doing exactly what I did. It's like, you do realize if I'm in fucking Manila and I want to buy something, I'm buying it with US dollars, right? It's like, hey, buddy, kiss my black ass. See you later. The meeting is canceled. We don't think it would be very productive. It's like that great scene from Get Rich or Die Trying, the 50 Cent movie where the guy he's at having a party and some guy he doesn't know at the party bumps into him a little too hard and the guy's like all chesty with him and it was great. 50 Cent, I don't know how much he was acting during this part, but he was like, I guess you forgot where you are. I guess, I mean, this is the essence of lost battalionage, man. You talk a tough game, but unless the Filipino army is making their own fucking planes and buying their own bullets and getting millions of go cozy up to the Chinese. See how that works for you. The South China fucking seas, you know, you got nothing but double fuck yous coming from me. I'm a short timer, and you're gonna fuck with me. Not fuck me, fuck you. You know. Yeah, you can impress people. You know why? You know why fucking fascist governments have traditionally done poorly? You want to look at the unsuccessful fascist governments and look at the successful fascist governments. Look at Nazi Germany. Look at Spain versus Spain under Franco. You know, I mean, it's you know, you have to fucking make accommodations. They have to stabilize themselves as societies. You want to kill drug dealers? I understand it. You might want to do it. It's not a stable society because inevitably people, well, was he a drug dealer? Well, he said the word drugs, so I had to kill him. You know, I mean, I don't know what this tough talking, brash talking. People love the way it looks, and it seems like, oh, it's like John Wayne. This shit doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. And you're gonna alienate. Natural synergies with the especially with China hulking in the background, and you're gonna fucking piss off because you lost your temper at a press conference when they asked you about the extrajudicial killings that Obama was or maybe was not gonna talk about that you didn't even know. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. That's what Obama says.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing between the Philippines and China taking those islands in the South China Seas is the 7th U.S. Pacific Fleet. And Obama can tell them just stop selling those sorties, boys, you know, and let's see how these guys like it. Like, I mean, you know, the U.S. and the Philippines have a long and twisted, fucked up relationship, but also an alliance. I mean, you know, tons of Filipinos move back and forth. There's tons of Filipino Americans. There's a lot of Americans that move back to the Philippines. We're close countries, but the Philippines are clearly the junior partner. I mean, we've colonized them. We saved them from the Japanese. They never colonized us. They never saved us from foreign invaders.
He referenced abuses, colonial abuses, but these were like over 100 years ago. You know, they got to stand in line if they got a grievance on those lines. Like, let's talk to some Native Americans who are living on the res.
Or just some Okinawans. I mean, the Philippines kicked our military bases out back in the 90s or even late 80s, and so. It's been a long time. He can't play that card, and the guy's an asshole. The guy is a really out of control, punk, fascist, minor politico, and I mean, talk about brushing the dust off your shoulders. Obama didn't even. I mean, just never mind. Cancel the meeting. Like, this. I've got a list of people. Everybody. I'm the U.S. president. Everybody wants to talk to me. I don't have time for this shit. Sorry, clown.
And the opposition parties in the Philippines were on it quick. They were like, "How is this? Is this man?" It's like people do turn up dead in the Philippines.
Well, they've had thousands of people killed. I mean, this guy is unleashing some incredibly scary forces and demonizing drug dealers as an other to go after, and that's scary stuff. Scary stuff to be jacked.
Well, freedom of the streets.
Well, speaking of scary stuff, unleashing forces, colonization, that brings us to our teachable moment. Nate, you're a member of the Standing Rock Sioux. After months of protesting the construction of a $3.8 billion pipeline with almost 100 tribes across North America, the Dakota Access Pipeline Company responded with dogs and pepper spray. With the footage of the violence causing international outrage, what further steps can you take to stop the pipeline without having your blood spilled?
Well, I mean, it's one of those things. I think they're willing to have some blood spilled. These people, they're brave and they're ready to stand up and they're fighting big forces. And the media is finally beginning to cover this story because they've just been getting steamrolled. And I think what they need to do is go after Hillary Clinton. That's the pressure point. That's the person who can help them and who can't be seen to not be helping them. I think they need to be at every Clinton event and just pushing. Start some memes. What's Hillary going to do about this? Help us, Hillary. Help us, Hillary, because she's, she needs she doesn't just need their vote. She needs the perception that she's helping them and standing up for people like them against the oil companies. And it's very hard to make a case at this point for the oil companies. They've behaved abysmally. Their goals are bad. The oil price is way down. The earthquake they had in Oklahoma this weekend, they're poisoning water, they're causing earthquakes. These pipelines.
Nate is making me sweat. I'm getting nervous. He's going to go.
My stunt board? I just stand out in a funeral and they made me take my hat off and baked my bald ass head. So that's why I'm looking like Dana White and Goldberg on a particular fight night.
But without the Goldberg. Right, Eugene?
Well, the creepy Goldberg smile. And I CGS. I'm agreeing with Kid Nate here, but I'm a little bit more circumspect because I like being alive. And Kerr McGee, Karen Silkwood. I find that there are a lot of things I don't weigh more than, and the oil industry is probably one of them. But yeah, this is a market. The oil prices, and then there was that somebody got juked. Saudi and Russian oil producers were like, we're gonna restrict the flow so the price can go up, and so everybody's like, yay, all the stock traders, and they go, just kidding, we're gonna produce as much as ever, and the price plunged again. So their houses in disarray, giving much needed time to guys like Elon Musk and so forth. Don't worry, in me, fellas, you got a hardcore internal combustion engine guy. I'm with you till the very end because I don't like the idea unless they have solar powered cars. In which case, I'm in. I'm not going for electrical cars because electricity is centralized. Internal combustion engines, conceivably vodka that I could burn in the engine, is decentralized. Stalin did it best. Trains over cars. I want the freedom of mobility, and I do not want centralized power guiding that mobility. But that being said, you got Indians willing to die. Bad look for you. Stop. Just stop. Stop. Regroup. Think of some other way to make it happen. It's not. Sinclair Lewis would have been all over for this. It's not the 20s. You can't get away with it.
So do you think in terms of other groups that are interested in getting attention to their issues without having to have their blood spilled. They have to follow that kind of like Black Lives Matter kind of method that Nate mentioned, which is like, you show up at rallies and you make your presence known. You're constant. You go where the cameras are. If you're fortunate enough that it happens during an election cycle.
And you make powerful people uncomfortable at key moments. I mean, remember when gay activists booed Michelle Obama and people were, oh my goodness, and had the vapors? It fucking worked, Pick somebody who's vulnerable, who's supposed to be on your side and isn't, and pressure them. Don't bother with, the Republicans or your hardcore enemies. Go after the people that are supposed to be your friends and make them look bad, which isn't hard to do. Right. And work it hard. Because expecting media attention in this day and age is a no-go. They've been protesting their asses off and fighting hard. They've had celebrities out there. They've done all kinds of stuff. But that does not work to get attention. Go where the cameras already are and make your presence felt. And God bless the Sioux. The Sioux Reservation is one of the most benighted spots in the U.S. I mean, it's one of the poorest, most hard-hit places in the U.S. It's Virginia coal country, Camden, New Jersey, and the Sioux Indian Reservation are some of the roughest places to try to live in this country.
No casinos?
Some casinos, but I mean, every actuarial statement is abysmal. The murder rate, the life expectancy, drug addiction, unemployment, everything. It's unbelievably hard to live in those places.
Mm. And no, that's not Eugene's fear for Nate coming to pass. There are no assassins or snipers that we know of this minute.
Oh.
Look at it.
Yeah.
But we are here at Eugene's Lost Battalion. Eugene?
Well, if you saw Knuckle Up, you'll note that there are no entries in the Lost Battalion this week, but it seems strange to say because
the entire undercard of that fight of UFC Hamburg. How about that?
Yeah. What I said on the show says it best. If you are a don't care column, and your fight is a decision, you have made us suffer more than we care to suffer, and next time we will be unforgiving. You have a deeper don't care. If you are on a don't care column and you fight 3 rounds to a decision, it means you were fucking around. And there was not a single case in those undercard fights where that wasn't it was a battle from beginning to end. Nah, that's not what I see. So
might have been a battle of from beginning to end.
But those don't even qualify. Those don't even qualify. If a guy who's in a don't care column fights a fight that goes to a decision, not only does he not get in a don't care column, he doesn't even earn a place in the Lost Battalion, because if he says something crazy like, when I fight for the belt, that's like somebody saying poop is good food. You disregard it. It's not even something that a rational, serious person says. So if you're looking for an entry into the Lost Battalion, you're looking at a Barnett, you're looking at Orlovsky, and the reality of it is,
good fight.
It was a good fight, but it was one of those fights, like I say, on Knuckle Up, that could have gone. If I tell you the next day Orlovsky won, you go, oh. It doesn't surprise you. If I tell you the next day Barnett won, you go, oh, he submitted him? Oh yeah, there's no surprises in this fight. It's kind of why people like heavyweights, but if you could separate yourself from your favorite nuts to jump on for a second, this was not that, it wasn't that great of a fight, really. I love Josh Barnett, love him to death, catch wrestling guy, I'm all over it, but man, this was like, so it's not like these guys are Lost Battalion. They're just, does anybody want to see them fight again? Each other again? Anybody else again? That's not Lost Battalion. Again, he could come out and say something crazy, but then these guys know just where they are. And just where they are is like, what's the number on you? What number you got? 76. What do you got? 81. Man, have a seat, Jack, because we'll call you when we need you. That's it. And then 2 years from now, you'll say something like, Orlovsky. No, remember the guy with the teeth, the pee-pee, they taste my pee. Oh, yeah, and that's when you've been dark-starred.
Well, let's hope that that's not the future of us and our show. That you come back.
Cold, moldering grave, my friend. Nothing can soften the hammer and coffin.
Man, well, thanks for joining us on that positive note. Follow us on Twitter at Eugene S. Robinson, at Kid Nate, at Lexi Old. Please give us a thumbs up, Eugene.
Ding, ding, ding.
And leave comments at YouTube. Subscribe to MMANation.com on YouTube, MMA Nation on iTunes. Visit Bloody Elbow. Read Eugene at Ozzy.com. And be sure to check out all three of us on Amazon.com. We'll be back next week with another installment of If I Did It, and we don't know what we're going to be talking about because the PR mistakes have yet to be made.
Yep.